I am Bhante Aranavihari. So I have given a few Dhamma talks in BSV hall and here. So today I was invited to give the Dhamma talk. So if you have any questions, you can post on live tube chat, the live chat, YouTube live chat. So then, I can answer those questions. Today I thought to talk about why our minds become discontented and unhappy. So we should understand according to the reality of our body and mind, not to fight or worry about our discontentment or unhappiness arise in our mind. So that's why it is important to listen or try to understand what's going on within ourselves, because sometimes it is difficult depending on how we were conditioned to understand our body and mind, how it works, and what are the causes and conditions related to this discontentment or unhappiness. So that's why it is important to listen to the people who has already developed their mind to deeper stages of the practice. So that's why we listen to Buddha's words, that means the Dhamma, and try to understand this body and mind according to Dhamma. Because most of our experience in our day-to-day life, we understand based on our knowledges already built up within our system. That means where we lived, whom we associate with early. So these things are our background knowledge, or the causes and conditions, how we relate to our experiences, or how we understand what we are experiencing now. So therefore, we must build up a different kind of knowledge regarding our body and mind. That means the listening to Lord Buddha's teachings, or studying, try to understand these Lord Buddha's sayings. So then we can understand from a different knowledge, using a different knowledge, or build up a different view regarding our body and mind. So it is helpful to understand our experiences. Then we can subside the unhappy mind or discontentment arise in our mind. Because according to Lord Buddha's teaching, this discontentment, unhappiness is a part of the system. That means a part of this body and mind. When it is functioning, this unhappiness is inevitable. It naturally arises. Because when this mind is working, we have choices. When we interact with objects, naturally these choices come to our mind, or the intentions. We can use many different words. But the reality is we value our experiences in different ways based on different gauges, different conditioning we had already. So therefore, all the time, when we have a choice, when we have a valuation, so then when our experiencing, our whatever thing we are experiencing is not go according to our valuation or our choice, so then we are getting unhappy. We are not contented. We want to make things better or change or we want to make things better. Yeah. So it is. So when we understand the nature of our body and mind, according to Buddhism, we see this is a part of the nature of our body and mind. But in the same time, when we are living in our day-to-day life, we have to maintain some level of our wishes according to where we are living, or our living standards, or way of behaving, dealing with others, interacting with others, and how we have to live today. So this we have to keep a moderation about that means we have to make a compromise, because we know when we are living with this five sense world, the suffering naturally come to us because the basic way of working this body and mind leads to suffering. But if you know that reality within ourselves, so when we are working with this world, we can keep a moderate level. So we have to actually, for living, we have to work. We have to do our day-to-day work, and we have to maintain this body, so, and mind also. So we have to do some work and services to maintain this body and mind. So therefore, we have to use the moderate way when we are dealing with this five sense world. And when we have a free time, or when we should reserve a time in our day to clean our mind. That means to get rid of all doings, all sufferings, and purify our mind by all this suffering nature. So therefore we have to reserve a time period for practicing the deeper meanings of this reality. Because so then I will go to the root of suffering. That means the root causes of suffering, how Lord Buddha taught us. This suffering actually arises how we deal with our experiences in this present moment. Lord Buddha says that when you are relating to any object in this present moment, if the craving arises with the object in your mind, because when you are contacting an object, your feelings, perceptions arise. In the same time, craving also arises in your mind. So that is the cause of suffering. That is the second noble truth. That craving means the craving to existence, or craving to enjoyment, craving to get rid of it, or whatever craving arises in your mind makes you suffer. So it is a part of this consciousness. So Lord Buddha say, when you know this reality within yourself, you can build up the different kind of relationship with your experiences, and you can just quickly let go, because you know these perceptions, these volitions, these feelings makes us suffering. So then you quickly let go it. Be kind to your system, your body and mind, and you are always then you will kind to the external objects also at the same time. You just let go things and be kind to external world and internal world both. So that is third noble truth. So how to how to build up this letting go power, or how we incline to letting go. Because letting go is give the opportunity to get rid of suffering, or free from suffering, free from unhappiness, free from discontentment. So that is the third noble truth. So when we are practicing the path, that means the fourth noble truth, we should always keep in our mind this impermanent nature and non-self nature. Impermanent nature means your experiences are always changing depending on external objects and depending on your internal faculties. That means the nature of internal faculties also change all the time. Your eye, nose, tongue, body and mind also all the time changing. Sometimes the physical part of your eye, nose, tongue, body might not change very fast, but the mentality related to eye, nose, tongue, body and mind is changing very fast. So if you carefully watch this reality, if you focus your attention to eye, nose, tongue, body and mind, you start seeing this reality. So then you build up the courage, or you build up the enthusiasm, your choice to let go things and free your mind by letting go. Be kind to things, be kind to your experiences, be kind to your body and mind, and free your mind. So that is the way how we can get rid of the suffering. So anyway, when you are living in your day-to-day life, you have to bear some sufferings, pains, unhappiness. It is a part of the living with this body and mind. So you can't avoid it. When this body and mind is existing in this world. So that's why third, fourth and fifth factors of Noble Eightfold Path, the meaning of third, fourth and fifth factors of Noble Eightfold Path is that, because you have to keep a moderation. So you have to do your day-to-day work. You have to live in this world. You have to interact with other people. So that's why if you have the right view and right intentions, always your mind is kind, soft and gentle. So therefore, your verbal actions and bodily actions become kind, soft and gentle. But you have to maintain verbal actions and bodily actions for living in this world. Otherwise, you may not be able to maintain your body and mind, body especially. Because you have to feed it, you have to keep it in a safe place, and you have to look after your body. In the same time, when you want to live in this society or maintain your body in this society, you have to interact with other people. So then many different kind of unhappy experiences come to you when you are living in this life. So when you interact with other people, so sometimes people show very harsh actions and reactions. Sometimes they are really rough and unkind. Sometimes people are good, kind, soft and gentle. So the external world we can't control. But when we have the understanding regarding this nature of external world and internal world, so you kind to both ends. So you have the ability to let go things and free your mind from unhappiness. Why unhappiness arise? Because expectation. We expect from our body and mind, and we expect from external world things. So this should be like this, that should be like this. So we have many different expectations. All these expectations come from delusion. Why? We don't admit the impermanent nature of this external world and internal world. If we accept it, so we are not expecting anything from external world and internal world, just for day-to-day living, because we have to maintain our body, but we are contented whatever thing we get in the present moment. We just let go things. Sometimes we are kind to our bodies and minds, so then we avoid the bad experiences. Lord Buddha say, parivajjana pahatabba. That means when you have these interferences, the rough interferences, we avoid that kind of interferences. Some interference, some external objects we endure. So we just be patient and endure that kind of experiences. Some we let go with the kindness, softness and gentleness, and free our mind. So all these things, because for maintaining this body and mind in our day-to-day life, we have to keep this understanding. Because when we go to normally in your lay life, you have to go to your job. Sometimes you have to work with other people. When you are living in your home, you have to interact with your other people who are living in your home, your husband or wife, children, and sometimes your parents also living with you. So all these different bodies have their own karmic background. That means their past intentions and how their body and mind works based on different set of causes and conditions. So that's why sometimes they have different kind of actions and reactions. So we have to understand all these bodies and minds are run by natural causes and conditions. It is a natural flow of happening things. Your body and mind also the same. So then when we keep this understanding, we kind to ourselves. In the same time, we kind to other people also. But we use our verbal action and bodily actions to make things pacify, and kind words we use to do our day-to-day work. Kind actions, kind bodily actions we use to do our day-to-day work. Because we have to maintain this body and mind. We have to maintain our body. In the same time, mind. Because if you fall into the harsh actions, verbal actions, bodily actions, later your mind fall into suffering. That means your remorse come to you. So then your mind condition become poor and blameworthy mind, or this your remorse come to your mind. You are not happy. So that's why we should maintain our verbal actions, bodily actions and mental actions. Mental action is the root cause. So that's why the first two factors of Noble Eightfold Path, right view and right intention. If you don't practice right view, you don't get the right intention. Or sometimes you cultivate this right intention forcefully, but if there is no deep root for this right intention, it can quickly fall when you are facing a strongly unbearable situations. That's why it is important to have the powerful root. The powerful root is right view. So that's why we always try to encourage people to practice this knowledge, this the impermanent nature of body and mind, and non-self nature of body and mind, and the suffering nature of body and mind. It is the Lord Buddha always teach these things to people to understand, to cultivate, understand this body and mind, and cultivate the right view within yourself. So then you start seeing the world in a different perspective. Then you naturally, the right intentions arise in your mind. Then your verbal action, bodily actions, and livelihood become purified by this thing. Because without maintaining good verbal action, bodily action, and livelihood, you can't avoid remorse. It is difficult to let go quickly your bad actions. So that's why these things gradually cultivate when you are practicing the path, practicing this right view. So it is the most helpful base for practicing the 6th, 7th, and 8th factor of Noble Eightfold Path. That is the right effort or right inspiration. This Samma Vayama, right effort, when you put an effort to purify your mind from all unwholesome activity and build up the wholesome activity, leads to the total extinguishment. So when you put the right effort, it is always based on right view. So therefore you get the ability to get rid of all the thoughts, all the intentions arise in your mind. Basically all intentions arise in your mind. You let go, be kind, be soft, and be gentle. Let go. So then once you letting go the intentions related to your five sense world, then start arising intentions related to abandoning this five sense world, or the intentions related to let go five sense world objects. And you focus to your body in a different perspective, because when we are focusing in our day-to-day life, our mind always focuses to the objects come through our five senses. When we are practicing, we avoid all these objects come through our five senses and focus to the body, the breath. Normally we don't pay attention to the breath when in our day-to-day life, but this is a different kind of object. So we avoid all the five sense world, the objects, and focus our attention to the breath and keep our attention all the time with the breath. Try to do it, because the two parts of that action is, one part is letting go all these five sense worlds, the objects related to this five sense world. That means the thinking and worrying, whatever thing related to this five sense world, we just let go. We don't worry, because we know these things are not I, me, myself. These things, whatever thing arise, may change quickly and disappear and arise something else. So therefore we are not going to worry about anything come to our mind. Just be kind, soft and gentle, and let go and free our mind. Then we focus to the breath object, or if you are focusing to your mind or any other object, it is okay. So you are just watching internal world. You avoid all, you let go all the external. You let go the interest towards the five sense world objects, because you know all these things make suffering, or these things are impermanent. This whatever perception arise related to these external objects are change based when your internal causes and conditions change, all the perceptions, volitions also change. That is how it works. So then if you watch these things carefully, you can understand. You just let go things. So then you focus your attention to your breath and watch. Because when you have the attitude towards this five sense world is suffering, then your mind inclined to the stillness, your mind inclined to the internal world by letting go the five sense world objects. Then your mind always happy with the stillness and letting go. This conditioning is important to practice meditation. Then you enjoy the stillness of the mind. Then you value the stillness of the mind. And in the same time, you don't worry, you don't go to control your body and mind. So this is how we incline to the stillness and letting go. So actually, I want to tell you this part because when you are discontented or when you are unhappy, when you are in your day-to-day life, you have to understand the only way we can avoid this discontentment, just let go, let the things be kind to this world. And in the same time, if you can do something to avoid that discontentment, you may do it. If it is not possible, you just let it be. Because all the external world or internal world things you can't control, but some maybe you can do something, but most you can't. So these abilities are totally based on causes and conditions, because some of these things you can control because you have already developed the knowledges or skills related to these things. But sometimes you haven't developed skills related to avoiding that the unhappy experiences are not haven't developed yet. So then you have to be patient, you have to be kind, because this life is like that. The causes and conditions are, that's why you have to keep the right intentions, wholesome intentions. Then you are contented. You can let go to deeper stages. Letting go is the way how to avoid suffering. The cause of suffering is attaching and craving to things. Craving to your experiences, craving to feelings, perceptions, volitions. In the same time, craving to external objects come through your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. So then you just let go and free your mind. So when a person develop his mind to letting go to a deeper and deeper stages, Lord Buddha say one can develop the mind to jhana level. That means letting go all the five sense world. All the five senses you can extinguish. That means stop functioning. Only your mind is functioning. The five senses totally turn off at that stage. So no objects are coming through these five senses. Only you see your mind only. So the feelings, perceptions and volitions actually only at the first jhana you have a subtle volition. After that it also disappears. You just experience feelings and perceptions only there. So then in that stage a person can experience how to extinguish this consciousness. The five sense consciousnesses are the first thing you extinguish. And then you extinguish your will. How it happens? A person can experience within themselves when you develop the mind to those stages. So then that kind of person can get confidence to this, the reality of extinguishment. You can extinguish your consciousnesses. So you get the confidence to extinguish things. That's why Lord Buddha say, it is important to attain jhanas. That means you develop your mind up to those stages. Then you touch the reality. Then you can contemplate on reality in a different perspective through your experiences. So the important. So then I would like to remind again, this right view is the most important thing that you can get easily from listening to Dhamma, because that is the starting point. That's why Lord Buddha say in many suttas, why when people ask why people can't understand this Dhamma, or why people can't attain Nibbana or get rid of all suffering, Lord Buddha clearly say, Ariyanang adasavi, Sappurisanang adasavi in Pali. That means the people who practice this path haven't seen, or the Aryas, the people who develop their mind to these deep stages haven't seen. Ariyanang adasavi, Sappurisanang. Sappurisa means the people who are living in lay life, who come to this understanding and faith. So if you haven't seen that kind of person, if you haven't listened to those persons, so you don't know about this Dhamma, this reality of body and mind. Because people who experience these deeper stages clearly know how things are happening, how can we get rid of all sorts of suffering. So they clearly know. So that's why they come, once they come back to this five sense world, so they can teach you, they can tell you the reality about this reality, how to get rid of these things. So it is important to listen Dhamma and build up confidence by investigating this Dhamma and practicing this Dhamma. Then you clearly feel you can let go all sorts of suffering. First, one by one, one instance by one instance, you get rid of suffering. You are becoming successful. When you experience the success within yourself, then your mind naturally tends to practice this path, practice this way, practice this method, practice this view especially, because this impermanent nature, non-self nature. If you carefully investigate your experiences, you see this reality within yourself, this impermanent nature, non-self nature. Non-self nature means we normally take this I, ear, nose, tongue, body as I, me, myself, or otherwise your feelings, your perceptions, your volition as you. But it is a natural phenomena. These feelings arise in our system, our body and mind, based on causes and conditions. When the causes and conditions change, these feelings change. Perceptions change when the causes and conditions changing. When the volitions also change when the causes and conditions are changing. So that is a reality. So we think we have a control on these things. But if we carefully examine, you will see we don't have a control on these things. I have tell many instances in the previous talks also. This how we are susceptible for external inputs and the change our perceptions without having any our wish, our perceptions, our volitions twist to something else. Then we naturally fall into suffering. So I would like to remind this this small the story. So I tell this one as a to remind to people to understand this non-self nature of your body and mind. So once a person go and buy a car, he go to the shop. So before go to the shop, he actually many weeks he try to find out the best car for him. So he read a lot of reviews, go in different kind of magazines, and these magazines related to these cars, or he checked many newspapers and get lot of information and try to figure out what is the best, how people rate these cars and all these things, and how his friends value these things. So to tell about these cars. So then he choose one best car. He thinks according to his wealth or the money he has. So he go there and buy a car and bring to his home, and he enjoy. He go here and there, go small trips and go to shops, and he drives the car with happy mind. So after about 1 or 2 weeks, one of his friends come from another state. Actually, he couldn't. Actually, he didn't remember about him. So he come from another state, and he come to see him and have a chat. Actually, he is automobile engineer who worked some time ago, and no, he is still working. He's still working. He's a one who is in the trade. So once he see this car, he say, this car has some technical defect. So that's actually the factory, the designer's problem. So because he is an expert, that's why he know these things. No, common people don't know. Most people don't know. So when he explained the defect of this car and show him, here, can we go a ride? I will show you how it works. So then he show him. So then once this person, the car owner, saw this defect, his happiness goes down. So he didn't expect this kind of explanation get from one of his friends. So it accidentally happened. Anyway, it happened. So now his happiness go to a different level. Now he is not much happy than early. So now he starts seeing the defects of the car. Previously he didn't see. So that is how this mind works. So the mind is always drives by the external causes and conditions. And your past intentions also. Sometimes your past karma also come in different instances and ripen in your mind. So then your view, your intentions, your perceptions change when your different karma is ripening in your mind. So if you apply these knowledges into your day-to-day life, you can see how the truth in it. So then you see these things are not actually under our control. This body and mind is not under our control. It is a flow of happening things. So if you have this knowledge, then you start relating to your experiences in a totally different perspective. So then you see things in a different perspective. So then you build up the ability to let go things and free your mind without holding on to your perceptions, or we are not attaching or grasping on all these feelings, perceptions and volitions. You just let go, you free your mind quickly. So when you build up this ability, it is really helpful to avoid this unhappiness arise in your mind. Then because once your unhappiness arise in your mind, you just analyze where your mind is grasping, which object your mind is attaching or valuing or craving arise. So then you get the ability to let go and free your mind. So this is not a very complicated thing. So this is very simple. You can see within your day-to-day life and understand and use this knowledge as much as you can. So then when you have the intention to use this knowledge in your day-to-day life, gradually you feel more contented, more a happy person. So once your mind identifies this reality, your mind naturally incline into that practice, to continue that practice in your day-to-day life. Then you gradually come into the path. And then you enjoy the deeper stillnesses of the mind. Naturally your mind inclined to enjoy the deeper stillnesses, or whatever level of stillness you value, you enjoy. You are not going to control any of these things. You're kind to yourself. You're kind to your body and mind. In the same time, you are kind to the external world. That means the other people who are actually living with you and all other objects, the animate and inanimate, all objects. You are kind to all objects. So that is how it happens. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So is there any questions? Okay.
Yes, Bhante. We do have one question so far.
Yeah.
The question is, when we refer mind, is it referring to all six senses processing, feelings, perceptions, volition, etc.? Is karma creating through all these six senses?
Yeah. Actually, this six sense of the always work connected to the mind. There is a mind factors. So if there is no interaction with the mind, so it is totally different. So the mano dhatu, according to the explanation, so actually the sense, the objects come through the senses. These things process in the mind. So the mind create the volitions, karma created by the mind. So that is a part of the mind. In the same time, you have to understand these senses actually already programmed by your previous experiences or previous training or previous causes and conditions. This eye, ear, nose, tongue, body consciousnesses are based on this conscious basis. That means when you, for example, for simple example, I will tell you. So when you are walking on road, you pass many people, but you have no any special attraction or interaction. But if you see your friend, one of your friends is coming in front of you, so you have a different kind of reaction come within yourself. So that is how it works, because your past experiences makes the present moment intentions, volitions, perceptions. So otherwise you are not much worried. You just see the color, you just see another person is passing, you are not much aware. If your mind is watching or looking at something, sometimes some people are really enjoy the seeing cars and different models. They can identify all the car models and the brands and all these things. So they are watching cars. They see the car model. Some people just watch the side mirror. So he see only the side mirrors of the car. This one has this kind of side mirror, that one has that kind of. So if different people have different trainings. So sometimes I say, so if you go to a house, if you are an engineer, you see that the engineering aspects of that building. If you are an architect, you see the architectural aspects of that building. So if you are some other profession, maybe an artist, so then you see something different. So whatever thing you have your previous training, is a part of the present moment consciousnesses. That means the present moment feelings, perceptions and volitions. That's why the karma always based on. So what your eye sees is what your eye trained to see. That is the important part to understand. Because if you listen to music, when you are listening to music, sometimes you just enjoy the sounds. But a musician listening to music, he understands much deeper the rhythms and all these things. They have the training to identify the frequencies, rhythms and all these things. So a normal layperson can't understand any of these things, but they just enjoy the sounds or the rhythms, but they can't identify. They don't see the faults of the how they sing, or how that music is, how that instrument is playing. But a musician can see. He can perceives. He can understand. So that's why they say our karma actually has a big grounding in our five senses world. Not only five senses, even the mind. Mind what can perceive and what can't perceive. So that's why we have to understand this. Suffering is always related to the consciousness. Consciousness always based on your past karma. That's why Lord Buddha say, Kammassa komi, kamma dayado, kamma yoni, kamma bandhu, kamma patisarno, yang kammang karissami, kalyanang va papakang va tassa dayado bhavisami. The meaning of this one is, this karma is the thing, the whole, this mass of this body and mind. All the functions. That's why it is important to listen Dhamma. It is also another karma. So once you get the interest and you mindfully listen Dhamma and you get understanding about Dhamma, it is another karma. Start driving the whole system in a different direction. So then you get when you fall into the path, you build up a karma, that is a kind of a wholesome karma, that you achieve the total extinguishment. Then it is until you are living in this life, there is a karmic effect on those achievements. And at the death moment, this karmic power comes and your mind brings to the total extinguishment. And then no more intentions to come back to another birth or extinct the existence. So that's how it works. Okay, ask me.
Second question. Thank you, Bhante. How can we develop good meditation karma, especially when living busy lay lives? Thank you.
Yeah, it is a good thing, because build up a good meditation karma. If you have we always keep time for sleeping. We always keep some time doing our day-to-day work in your home. We reserve a time for going to our job and do the work and shopping and all these things. In the same time, you should keep a time for meditation. So that is one important thing. You have to reserve the time period in your daily schedule, daily program in your day-to-day life. So that then you can build up. Then you can sit and at least think about meditation. not starting the meditation at the beginning. At least you can think what to do for thinking. So when you have that time, then you can start practicing meditation. You can learn meditation. So now the BSV Monday evening we teach a little bit meditation. So give the guided meditation. So that is also good to follow. Or you can go to other websites, especially the BSW website. the Ajahn Brahm is also teaching meditation, and many other meditation teachers you can listen. So I recommend Ajahn Brahman's teachings are good, and other the meditation masters' teachings also good. You can just follow. Then you can achieve the stillness of the mind. That means the letting go things. You will be encouraged to practice meditation and let go things and free your mind from all afflictions. Then your mind become calm and peaceful. So that is when you have that intention to let go things, practice meditation, so it creates a wholesome karma. In the same time, if you listen to this kind of Dhamma talks, and if you try to understand the impermanent nature, non-self nature and suffering nature, and use that knowledge in your day-to-day life, also really powerful inspiration give to you to practice meditation. Practice meditation, basically you are letting go things. You free your mind from all attachments. So there should be a strong foundation for letting go things. But otherwise you may not be able to do it, or you are not willing to do it. Because if you are highly attached to your experiences or whatever enjoyments, if you don't see the disadvantages of that kind of engagements, you just follow your all habits or all your enjoyments. But if you see the disadvantages of these things through this right view, and when you see the suffering, how this suffering arises, what are the causes and conditions behind this suffering, then you quickly let go of this. Because when you are enjoying the impermanent stuff, definitely when it change to a different state, you fall into suffering. If you watch your life, if you examine what you have experienced early and what you enjoy early, and now what has happened to those things, you clearly see. Even age 18, 20 girl or boy can understand these things. Because life is always changing. Your experiences are always changing. If you attach to all experiences, then you see you are falling into suffering. Most of the time, people are deluded by the future, because the expectations of the future, you expect in future, I will get this thing, I will get that thing. Once you get, are you get rid of all suffering? No. Then you find out another better thing in future. So you running behind the future. You running the future behind the future experiences. But once you get that experience, are you get satisfied? No. That is the reality. So once you understand this nature, so you have to keep in mind this impermanent nature. So then you accept that reality, and you use that knowledge in your day-to-day life. So you are not much worrying about things. You just let go things. You can free your mind. Is there any question?
Yes, we have 2 more questions.
Okay.
This one is a long question.
Okay, ask.
I live in Hong Kong, where there has been fight. I enjoy quietness in my mind, but I can't be kind to everyone in my city because I don't think they deserve my pity. Same to many people in the city. What can we do? In my city, many people has lost faith in karma. They don't believe in karma anymore. Bad people takes all. Good people being treated bad. Same to every part in the world. What can we do?
Yeah, this is another thing. So, okay, now you see the bad people are conquering. They are get the power, and they do all the bad things everywhere in the world. So that's what you see. Have you seen some time ago, in some countries, big earthquakes come and destroy cities, destroy I heard some time ago in India, about 40,000 people died at once because huge earthquake, crack appear on the earth and fall people into this. Some time ago, one tsunami came and over 100,000 people killed in Sri Lanka and other countries. So then what do you think? Can we stop these things? Can't. So in the same way, sometimes if you carefully watch, you can see these bad people come not only their power, but they were empowered by the people's vote. If you carefully, they are not come from the moon or sun. They just empowered by the people. Even the Hitler came to power by the people's vote. And he make a big disaster in this world. That is how things work. So we have to admit this reality. These things are not under our control. Only few people see the disadvantages at the beginning. But later, after some time, many people see the disadvantages of that choice. All the choices, not only the choices in outside, that is people's choice, is that in this moment. That's why most people follow those actions and vote, or they give their consent to those harsh actions. That's how it works. This mind is like a wind. It is blowing here and there, driven by the craving. So that's why Lord Buddha say you have to admit this reality. That's why when you are associating with this consciousness, suffering can't avoid. That's why Lord Buddha encouraged people to go to total extinguishment, practice meditation, free your mind. You can't change the world. World is world. So only the way to extinguish all sorts of suffering is not come to existence. Once you come to existence means whatever consciousness arises in this world fall into suffering. It is the nature of it. Why? The consciousness always run by delusion. Delusion is an essential part of the consciousness. That's why you want to be conscious about things. Once the delusion removed, there is no consciousness, no intentions, no consciousness. That is the dependent origination. If you study the dependent origination, Lord Buddha show these things to people. So when you are experiencing, you have to suffer. That's why Lord Buddha say, don't worry, let the world be. You just let go of the world and release from the world. First, you release from the five sense world, and then you can get the ability to release your mental world. So you go to the total extinguishment. That is the only way to avoid suffering. So the karma is the reality you can't avoid. So this is a part of the karma because you are using your five sense world. Nothing else. Okay.
Okay. Next question should be the last one. Can you explain Dhamma versus Sankhara?
Yes. Dhamma versus Sankhara. Yeah, actually, the Dhamma, you listen, because when we are living in five sense world, Sankhara is an essential part of the system. So, Dhamma, when you listen to Dhamma and when you build up the right intention, when you build up the right view, then the right intentions arise. That is Sankhara, Kusala Sankhara. Otherwise, when your mind is deluded, mostly arise the Akusala Sankhara. That means the unwholesome intentions. Sometimes wholesome intentions also arise, but it is always going to the both sides. But when you develop or when your mind is aware of the reality, that means the right view, then your mind come to the right sankhara. That means the kusala means the wholesome sankhara. or the skillful sankhara. You have to understand, without having sankhara, you are not go to the total extinguishment, but it is the early stage. Sankhara to let go sankhara. Ultimately, you come to that stage. So when you develop your mind to deeper stages, you actually let go. First thing is, when you build up the right view, you develop the right intentions, right sankhara. That means the wholesome or the skillful sankhara. Be kind, soft and gentle. Is that enough? You can ask questions.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
Can Bhante give a brief overview of dependent origination? Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I will tell in very brief, because we don't have much time. So avijja pacca sankara, sankara pacca vijnana, vijnana pacca nama rupa, nama rupa pacca salayatana. That is the way how explained in Pali. So I try to tell in English. So avijja is not seeing the science of this body and mind. So only the people who develop their mind to a level to see this, how this body and mind works and how it evolves in with the time, and how it change. All these things can see when you develop your mind to a certain state. So going beyond this five sense world, then you can see how past lives and future lives and all these things, how the intentions drive this bodily, verbal actions and mental actions and all these things. So that is why people who develop mind towards the deeper stages, they understand the science of this, how this one works, what are the causes and conditions, how it drives. So that is the vijja. So because people don't know that reality, so people have intentions. Intentions means the basic intention of the mind is rely on five sense world. They advert the senses, advert the mind sense, the six senses, and the existence totally based on this six sense basis. So that's why the mind should advert the senses. That is called sankhara, avijja pacca sankhara, sankhara pacca vijnana. Therefore the vijnana arise. Each and every vijnana arise and come into the action. Then the namarupa arise. Now, so this one can explain in different ways. This is the one way of explaining. So then when this feelings, perceptions, volitions arise, then the craving also arises, because there is a choice, there is a feeling. When the feeling is there, the choices also arise, the intentions arise. Because avijja, passa pacca vedana, vedana pacca tanha. When the contact happens, the feelings comes, the craving comes. So then the attachment comes. You are attaching to objects, you are attaching to the existence, you are attaching to the enjoyment. So then this attaching happens. When you have the set of attachments, that is called the bhava. So upadana pacca bhava. So that is your existence, always based on your attachments. If you watch your life, you can see this reality. To which things you are attached. Why you want to live? Because your attachments. So upadana pacca bhava, bhava pacca jati. Because when you go to death with those attachments, you come to another existence, go to another existence. So once you go to another existence, all these consciousnesses are natural phenomena. So the craving naturally arises through this phenomena. So you are naturally fall into again and again. That is samsara. So there is no end. This is the brief explanation about the how avidya and how it leads to the samsara. So I think I answered that question. Okay, now questions finish. So I think now we can conclude this Dhamma talk. So then pay respect to Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and finish the Dhamma.
Tomorrow night?
Yes. Yeah. Tomorrow night, 7:30 guided meditation session. So I will be conducting it. So tomorrow 7:30 p.m. guided meditation session. So I would like to remind now another important thing. So we are seeing that something like a second wave of COVID is spreading in Melbourne area. So this Victoria. So it is better to follow all the guidelines given by the government. So it is a good thing. So not to go here and there and follow the government guidelines. So it is helpful. Stop spreading and get the freedom from this COVID problem. Okay. So now shall we pay respect to Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivade Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namassam Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Nama